Welcome. Let me just say that again because I need that energy there. Welcome.
Welcome
to Date Night
with the Craft. Yes.
I am your host, Justin Craft.
Yes.
And my lovely co-host, the one and only Kiara, the love goddess, calling in thick Craft, as my lovely once again co-host.
Thank you, baby.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you.
We are finally here.
We are here.
We've been talking about doing this for a long time.
We have.
People have been asking for us to do this for a long time.
They have, because what people don't know is that we've been married for how long?
22.
Well, it'll be 22 years.
20 years.
Long as. Okay. I would say 22 pleasant, delightful.
Yeah, 22 chaotic, fun.
Sometimes. A little bit. Not too much. But that's why we're here. We're here to, I like to say, redefine marriage. To cast a realistic light on what marriage is, at least through our lens, because we feel like there's so much out there about marriage that just isn't true.
Yeah, exactly. And there's things that come up that we're going to talk about that may be a little taboo.
Yeah.
Maybe a little hard for some.
Maybe
controversial.
Mostly controversial.
And a lot of it will be positive, though.
Yes.
But, we wanted to bring together a show that didn't sugarcoat
marriage. Yeah, because the thing is, if you've made it as long as we've made it, you've been through some shit.
You've been through a lot.
And a lot of people will try to glorify your marriage or try to make it into this whole entity and conglomerate, but really it's just two people that have made a decision to keep at it, no matter what.
And something like, and people will tell you, and I know in the beginning of this pilot, we're going to be going over a lot of stuff that you may feel you're familiar with. That's cool.
Yeah.
But we still always want to lay the ground because this is like the end game, you know? So we're going to have things, you're going to come back to this show and go, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why they said that.
Exactly.
That's why that happened.
Exactly. You're going to come back to this show and go, oh, okay, I see why he said that. I see why they're telling this story. I see why they're bringing this to light.
Absolutely.
Because throughout the whole series, we're going to touch upon this in more depth as we go on. So
let's tell them how we met. What's the origin story?
Oh, man. All right. Let me get a little comfortable with this one.
Okay.
So here we go. Because we already know this show is about vulnerability, right?
It's about love.
Love and vulnerability.
Yes.
So let me just say this, because I feel in my heart I want to say this right now,
Okay,
right?
go ahead.
The date night, so you understand what a date night is, right?
Yeah.
It is a date night in a sense, right?
This is our date night.
Right. Okay, it's about going out. Like everybody's like, okay, well, we all had date nights before, right?
Yeah.
But what makes our date nights a little special for us is because we, like I said, we have a point of vulnerability.
We use this platform to get closer.
Yeah, to get closer. We open up. We like to talk and discuss things that at one point in time could have made you mad.
It probably still will make me
probably
mad.
Still piss you off. But it's stuff that, that usually you just can't do at certain times.
Yeah.
We developed an
space.
area.
This is our space to be vulnerable, to be honest.
Right.
Sometimes we've had confessions in the middle of a date.
Exactly.
Night,
and be like, hey, look, I kind of fucked up on something, or hey, man, I got into some shit.
He's had more of those than I have.
Bullshit.
But
no, this is the hype.
Wait, I'm perfect.
But yeah, so that's what this is about.
Yes.
It's about, hanging with us and discussing this. And this goes, believe it or not, a lot of people have been involved in our date night discussions, didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you an example. Like when we own a recording studio, by the way. We're gonna get into all that, what we do and all that stuff later, but we own a recording studio. So a lot of times when people come through and they record and we're hanging out recording and we're discussing stuff, we have these long conversations in the studios for hours on end afterwards sometimes, or even beforehand, and it turns in to a damn near could have been 5 shows.
Yeah, it could have been.
So,
So what we're doing is we're taking that same thing and we're extending it out, past just our friends and family, because we feel like there is not enough honest voices out there talking about relationships and marriage and what they really are and what it takes to keep them together. So we're hoping to be that. We're not saying that everything we say here is the rule. It's our rule, and it has worked for us. So maybe it'll work for somebody else.
And we wanted to pass that on, because there's so many people that, we talk to, and they're always asking the question. They always, it not just about us, but your experience, we're starting out, what to do, our first home.
Should
our
I
first
get married?
Yeah, should I get married?
Should I stay married?
Yeah, is this person worth it?
Yeah.
All that. So we know. So we're going to touch on that too, but, we wanted to definitely speak from our experiences in these areas.
Yes.
And let you decide, and then
Absolutely.
bring up some things that maybe we'll discuss on our pages and stuff
Yeah,
like
so
that.
if y'all are following us on Facebook or if y'all are seeing this on Instagram, make sure to follow us. So it's at the date night or date night with the crafts. That's DATE NIGHTWITH, the CRAFT.
Right.
So be sure to follow us.
And then also your Instagram?
Yes. So my Instagram is Kiara Craft, KIARACRAFT, and Justin's is
Right. The J Craft Show. You should see
right.
that at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully. It should be there. If not there, the guy will add it there. We'll just do it in post, bro. So we'll add it there. And
Okay.
but yeah, so
welcome to our date night.
Welcome to our date night. This is
date
our
night.
date night.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, it's so
I get a
beautiful.
kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, so not
Yeah.
mushy shit. Okay. All right. But we have to do that. The theatrics, right?
Yeah.
Theatrics.
So the origin. I'll let
Okay.
you tell the origin story.
So the origin story. So reason why we're telling the origin story because it's important because how people met. Sometimes I don't know. I sometimes they say how you meet is how you end, right? And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people haven't heard that, but that's been in my circle.
Yeah.
So if it's a good, lovely, strong thing, then it usually ends with that. If
Yeah,
it's
because
kinda
the foundation starts off,
Right.
if it's a good foundation, it's built on good shit.
Right, because
You'll be
most
able
of
to weather the storm.
Right, because most of the time,
Yeah.
when guys, you ask a guy about marriage, the guys are never like, man, I'm so excited to get married, man, I'm so amped. Guys are like, all right, fuck it. That's how guys look at marriage.
Okay.
They really do.
Okay.
Not to
No, it's cool.
rehash on shit, but
this
yeah,
is the truth. This is the
that's
truth
the
platform.
truth.
Okay.
So it has to be something special. So anyway, here's our story. All right, so I came to Houston years ago, right? I was a young producer. I was living in Austin, Texas, and I had got a small record deal and, came to Houston, started working on this production thing and all that. To make a long story short, the record label went under. I was stuck here with just a drum machine and the clothes on my back, right? So fast forward a little bit more. I started working at a place called Telecheck. Telecheck was amped. There's very few people that remember Telecheck, but that shit was like I don't even know how to explain it.
It was a club.
It was like a club. It was like a Spike Lee movie.
It was.
That shit was like a Spike Lee movie.
Yes.
It was raw. So anyway, shout out to my boy Chris. Shout out to my boy Chris who worked there with me. He knows. But so anyway, me and my boy Chris, who I worked there with, were out partying one night. And we decided to go a little bit harder than we usually do. And if you people follow me on Facebook, you will notice Chris, I had a picture with him on the plane with his air mask on because, he got a little too lit in Vegas.
Yeah.
And,
Chris is still lit.
Yeah, Chris is still lit.
Yes, nothing has changed.
So anyway, same guy, right, at the beginning of the story. So anyway, me and him were out partying, actually with a bunch of other friends too, and I'll talk about them later. But we were out partying, and we stayed out way too late. So we were leaving the IHOP, and we realized the sun was coming up. We had to be at work in about an hour and a half. We were so drunk that my friend, literally Charles, I don't know where you at. I haven't seen Charles in a long time, but shout out to Charles, right? So anyway, my brother Charles, he put us in the back of this truck. He put us back there like fucking logs, right? He just lifted us up, put us in the back of the truck, and me and Chris are laying in the back of the truck like logs, and he's whipping around the beltway, and he's trying to hurry up and get us to our job on time, right?
Yeah.
So, me and Chris get there. We literally pull up. He opens up the back gate in front of the office. He pulls us out. Me and Chris are covered in dust and dirt and grime, and we smell like Hennessy. No, we smell like Alizé.
Okay.
I just told my age. I just told my fucking age, right? But yeah, we smell like Alizé, right, in Hennessy. And so we're like, okay, look, man, let's just, put on some cologne, chew some gum. Let's just go to this job and let's just start. Let's get this shit over. It's that type of thing, right? So we get in there, and I sit down at my desk, right? I sit down at my desk, and I'm sitting there, and I have a fucking hangover that's already kicking in. So my hangover is already coming with the fucking sunrise, and I'm already at work. I'm like, God damn it, man. So then at this point in time, this young lady comes and sits next to me. Mm-hmm. And what does that young lady say?
She says, "What's wrong with you?"
What's wrong? What's wrong with me, right? And she does that same laugh, right? And I was like, oh my God, her gums are so fucking huge, right?
Oh, wow. Wow.
So the whole time I'm thinking about her gums are. I know.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, just listen though. So anyway, I'm like, fucking gums are huge, right? So I'm already in a bad mood. And then she looks at me and she goes, well, I'm sitting here because my computer's down. And I'm like, okay, whatever, And she's like,
he was a complete asshole.
I was being a complete asshole.
Yeah, he was.
So anyway.
But I liked it. It was kind of cute. I wasn't used to that.
Right?
I wasn't used to it.
At this point in time, you tell it from your point.
I told him, I said, so I'm looking at him and he's being a complete asshole to me, which is weird because I'm just such a nice person. So I'm taken aback, but I'm going to still talk to him because I want him to like me for whatever reason. So I say, you look like somebody I know. And he says, no, you just want me to look like somebody you know. And I'm like, God damn this nigga.
Yeah, I was always the type of guy that I was just like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it, but, knock someone down a few pegs. But okay, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? So he keeps going on and on and on. He's like, well, I got a fever. And I'm like, because I'm feeling myself. I'm 18. You know how you feel when you're 18.
Cute. You was cute.
I was
no R. Kelly.
I was dope. Shut up. So I say, let me get away from you before you burn up. He looks at me and goes, psh. And I'm like, oh shit. Like,
yeah, I know.
Because I'm used to, because everybody else in this office is like going pretty crazy over me.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So that's like the Aisha thing going on, right? Oh, we'll talk about that.
Whatever.
We'll talk about
Whatever.
that. I just saw a door opening right there. That's a huge subject. We'll talk about that at a different time. Actually, we'll get around to that.
That'll be one of the topics we cover.
Probably get around to the topics we cover.
So
okay.
After that day, my homegirl, Claudia Martinez, hey, Claudia, she comes to me and she's like, hey, Justin likes you. And I'm like, who is Justin? She says, the guy that hangs with Chris. And I'm like, his name isn't Justin. His name is Gabriel because he told me. So, yeah, he gave me a fake name, too.
Right.
So she's like, no, his name is Justin. And I'm like, fuck him.
Oh, yeah.
Because now I'm mad because now he'd have been rude to me. He gave me a fake name.
But I mean,
as a matter of fact, earlier that day, he's showing me pictures of this model girlfriend that was in the D'Angelo video. And I'm just what is this dude doing? So I decide I'm going to give him the treatment. You know what the treatment is. You act like you don't like him, ignore him. I was intrigued. I can't lie because he was different.
And I loved it because, I was like, mind games. I was like, I'm down for some fucking mind games.
Yeah. And he met a person who also liked mind games.
Right?
So we played mind games. Like, he'd walk up to me. I'd see him coming out the corner of my eye. And as soon as he get like a few feet away, I'd pivot and go the other way. We did this for a while.
And you know what the best part about it was?
What?
Was the secret relationship.
Well, before we even start the relationship, though. I just
want to get right to this shit. I just want to get right to it, baby.
The way the relationship started is that he asked me, he found out that I also did music. At the time, I was in a group called Coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah. It was this a girl R&B group. And I was
went hard, though.
We did. We did. So he was like, I'm a producer, so you need to come to my house.
That was my game.
Yeah, it was his game. Come to my house, and I'm a producer.
Baby.
I'm a producer record for you. And I'm like, shit, okay. And he's like, you can spend a night, just bring your overnight bag. And I'm like, nah, nigga.
Yeah,
but
I did.
I did anyway, because I'm 18, and I'm just going to do whatever life brings. I'm going to go on with it. But he was like, I won't even touch you. And I'm like, whatever. You can't sleep next to me and not touch me.
Right.
But
I didn't
he didn't
touch
me.
And the thing is, and like I said, we'll get into this later too, is that, I wanted to show you that you could be safe with me, right? And I feel like that's how women should feel.
It's safe.
Around a man. And no matter what type of woman, she should feel safe around a man. That's what you should project, at all times. So, and that's important. And I knew that was important to you.
It was very important to me.
Right. So that's
because I
the reason
didn't
for
feel
that.
safe in that moment. So
it wasn't game. It came off like it was game because of the timing and it slid in. I was like, oh, shit, that's some cold ass game, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was actually being real.
Yeah.
I was being real. So yeah.
So a little bit before that, my roommate, I went to U of H, and my roommate and I had gotten egged. So
hold on. You know that I told our son that story. No, I told our son that story. I think I told him Maya too, and they didn't believe me.
That I got egged.
That you got egged.
I got egged, baby. Rolled up in the park, and not the park, in the party with eggshells and yolk.
Yeah, them niggas like
all in my hair.
Yeah.
And people was laughing. I'm just like, fuck, it's Halloween.
I'm like, what motherfuckers is rolling around with eggs in their car?
We got egged because we look like we was from the north side.
Just in case some shit jump off, nigga, I'm gonna have some fucking eggs in the car, yo.
You
know what I'm saying? Like, who does that shit?
It was a whole ordeal. But we got eggs, so I was terrified to ride the bus. So a little bit after I'd spent the night with him, he told me that he'd ride back to the campus. So he rode the bus with me, and I felt safe.
Right.
Now, I didn't realize before when I spent the night with you that safety is what I felt.
Right.
I just felt like you were really cool. And
right.
You weren't just thirsty, and that was cool because most guys...
I was everything.
What? Wait a minute. You was all right.
It was everything.
You was all right.
Right? Okay.
But
all
I felt safe with the bus thing. And
yeah.
I guess that was kind of what cemented it for me.
Right.
And then also, too, is like, you wouldn't sleep with me.
Yeah. Oh, that's like the...
It took like a month, and I'm just like,
that's the ultimate. Yeah, I had to put you on a 30-day wait.
You put me on a 30-day wait.
I had to put you on a 30-day wait.
So what kind of game was that?
Oh, that's just what it is. I just have to just watch you. I have to kind of monitor you. I have to see, like, who you are, that type of shit. Hey, man, I watched my homeboys' tires get slashed and windows broke out before. So, I'm just very, like, precautious about the energy I bring around me. I'm always protective like that. I know people think I'm weird when they meet me because my friend Chris told me. I'm going to mention Chris a lot because that's my homeboy. Either you're going to love me or you're going to hate me, right? Yeah. And that's because I just walk in sometimes with that guard up. Yeah, I walk in with that guard up, but when I let down, you love me. But I walk in my guard up.
I'm glad that everybody doesn't get to see that side of you all the time.
Right, a lot of people don't get to see the side of me
because people typically, when they meet us, they think that I'm the nice one and you're the mean one.
Right.
But really... you're the nice one,
right?
And I'm the mean one,
right? Yeah, our roles reverse sometimes.
When you really get to know us, you get to know who's who. But
so you got egged. We're gonna go off these tangents all the fucking time.
Okay, I got egged. We got on the bus. You rode home with me, and then we just started like dating. And what I realized too, that was like really dope about you in the beginning, is that you wouldn't stay on the phone with me all night. I couldn't just have my way with you. Mm-hmm. Like most guys would be on the phone with me and I could hear them yawning, but they would bend to my will. Mm-hmm. And it'd be like 9 o'clock. Okay, Kiara, and I'm going to go to bed now. I'm like, we just been talking for 30 minutes, but you weren't so into me that you were willing to compromise your sleep. You still had your will.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, that was the first time I'd ever met a guy who wouldn't bend his will for me.
Right. And mainly that's because, and we're going to talk about this later, this is going to be a big subject later on, is when you become married and you still keep yourself.
No, this is before we got married. This is when we were dating.
I know, but I'm saying, but that's what goes into it.
Like I already relationship, period.
Yeah,
like, don't bend your will.
Yeah, don't.
But if you would have bent your will, though, I probably wouldn't have respected you as much as I do now.
Right. So but what I'm saying by that is how you remain an individual.
Yeah.
You could still be yourself. You
without
don't have
dissolving
to
into somebody
You don't have to merge. You don't have to do a fusion dance and then become one person. You could still love each other. Yeah, right. Yeah. We're gonna see a lot of anime jokes. I watch fucking anime. I love anime.
We watch anime.
Yeah.
We love anime.
Yeah, as a family, and it's dope.
We do.
I mean, the stories are like incredible. So anyway, all right. So, after we got through all that.
We did.
Right. And then, so we got through all the phone calls. We got through all the game. Right. And then we decided, hey.
Yeah. We want to get married, but we had to get married because.
But hold on, back up though. After the phone calls, after the stuff, then we.
Had sex?
We had sex one time.
Yes, we did.
We had sex one time.
We had sex one time.
And then I looked at you and I said, so what happens now?
Yeah, you're like, you said, what's next?
What's next?
And at the time, I had like 3 other dudes I was talking to. So I'm like, what do you mean? And he like, I'm ready to settle down. And I'm thinking, dude, I'm 19. I'm not ready to settle down.
No, I hate that fucking word, settle down. I hate that word. But
that's the word you
It's like,
use.
you're stopping. You know? Like, I'm ready just to stop living and just want to sit here.
Well, that's the word. That's the thought that goes behind that word.
But I was ready for an adventure.
You were. And I was a fun girl.
There you go.
But I knew that I had to stop all of that to be with you. So I think you even came back to my room at U of H and like sat there as I called all the dudes
Mm-hmm.
who called me and was like,
on your Houston cellular phone.
on my Houston cellular, you little
gray
gray.
ass flip phone.
Yes.
That shit just had numbers. This had like numbers like written across
That
the
bill
top
was
right
so high, but I thought I was so dope because then nobody
here.
had.
That shit came with 75 minutes for a whole month.
No. I had 50 minutes.
Yeah,
But you couldn't tell me shit.
I know.
But yeah, I called everybody and was like, I'm in a relationship. And you did the same thing.
Yeah, I did the same thing, you know, and that once again, we're going to talk about all this. Remember, this is the end game, man. Remember that. So when I was done, I mean, after we decided to be in a relationship, I called all my girls. And the crazy, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. When you're honest with people, when you're fucking really honest with people, you don't get no negativity. Like most people,
I got
they go,
negativity.
You got negativity because you're a woman.
Out.
Yeah, because you're a woman. So
Called
guys,
all
they're like,
kind
you know.
Bitches.
Right, and all that.
But I was engaged.
Right.
Like I was wearing another dude's ring.
Right.
So I had to break off a whole engagement.
I know that was tough for you,
It
wasn't
was so tough. And it's wild.
Right.
Because I knew, you know, even wearing his ring, that was never going to happen.
Right.
I was just doing it because it was cool to be chosen and wanted. But even then, I was still having full-on relationships with people.
Right.
And so is he.
Right.
You know, but something about you felt different from that, you know. So he became a friend, and then you became my husband.
Yeah, and there you go.
Yeah. But we married within 3 months of dating.
Yeah, we made it with 3 months. And I remember telling my friends, like, after 8 weeks, 6 weeks, I was like, hey, man, I'm going to go ahead and marry this girl. I think this is the girl for me and everything.
Got
They're
harassed.
like, what the fuck? Like, they're like, yo, nah, you barely know her, you know? And I was like, nah, you could know people pretty quick.
You can, though. You can. And that's one thing you told me is like men, like who have women waiting like all this time, I don't know. You always told me that was bullshit.
Yeah.
You said that men know fairly quickly.
I know, just as fast when they say when you meet a woman within 5 minutes she's gonna sleep with you or not. Yeah, it's the same thing.
We
with men.
know we're gonna sleep with you. All that we're deciding at this point is if you're gonna do some shit to make us not want to sleep with you.
Yeah, I know the whole walk in the point structure.
Yeah,
back
you start losing points.
Start losing points. Like
get to about a 75 and you out of there.
Yeah, you strike the fuck out.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, people thought I was nuts.
Yeah, thought I was nuts too. They thought I was pregnant.
Yeah, they thought you was pregnant. Yeah. So we went through all that. But as we came out through the other side, now we're here.
We are.
And of course, that whole year span of years up until now is definitely, like I said, it's going to be broken apart into these shows, and we're going to discuss all that.
Everything that we've gone through, everything we've had to navigate as a couple, as parents, as two individuals that want to be married, that want to maintain our connection. We're going to talk about that because people need to know. I think that we need to start being more honest instead of painting these pictures of perfection and unicorns.
Unicorns and sprinkle, fairy tale shit.
It's boring.
Yeah, and it's really boring, and it really gets old. And I know that, like I said, there's a lot of topics that are going to be, they're going to really ruffle some feathers, but that's what we're here to do.
Why are we calling it Date Night with the Crafts again?
Exactly. Why are we calling it Date Night
because
with the Crafts?
Our date nights, and after this, we're going to go have our date night, have our dinner, and whatever, a movie. Get a room.
Whatever we get.
That's a big part of it. But we use our date nights like this to communicate, to reconnect. So we want to bring y'all in on that and just show y'all the real anatomy of a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And what we mean by that is not necessarily like, oh, look how we're doing it, and you need to be like us, so then you can. No, it's not like that.
We're just saying it ain't one way.
Yeah, we're just saying it ain't one way.
Yeah, there is not one way.
Yeah, and this is an open-ended. These will be open-ended discussions. Yeah. So in our comments, make sure that you if you have some questions for us, DM us. Send us some questions. If you want to be on the show in the future, let us know.
Yes.
If you feel like you could bring something that that we could discuss and and get down on here, let's talk about it.
Yes, and we're open to everybody. This is not just for the standard boy plus girl marriage. This is all marriage.
All marriage.
Any marriage. Every marriage, I'll say, goes through the same things, whether it's heterosexual, homosexual, whatever. You know, we just want to build a platform that speaks about these things and allow people to know that you're not alone and what you're going through is not foreign to just you. These are things that a lot of people are going through, and you can feel safe and you can be vulnerable enough to have these discussions with us.
Yeah, have these discussions with us and everyone else. Yes. But that's the good thing is having it with us. You feel a little more stronger, and I'm telling you, the magic is here, and that's the reason why we do this is because we've once again, and not to reiterate, I know we've been going over this for the last minute or two, but we've been doing this for such a long time.
Yeah, we have,
and these discussions have always been in the dark, and it's been so many years. So that's the reason why it's
time
like I said again,
bring it to light.
Time to bring it to the light and let people see.
Yeah, what's behind the curtain?
What's behind the curtain?
Yes. So. But we just wanted to give y'all a little insight as to who we are. I wanted y'all to be able to understand the purpose of our show. And we hope that every couple of weeks, we're going to be doing this every 2 weeks.
I was thinking about it.
Well, for right now, every 2 weeks.
All right. Every
Friday.
2 weeks. Every Friday.
Yeah.
Every Friday.
From between 6 and 7 is when we're going to post our shows. Yeah. And we want y'all, again, to go to our social media, Date Night with the Crafts. Follow us, join the conversation, participate fully.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
It's not time to be shy. I always tell people all the time, and people that know me and they follow me on social media and all that, besides music and guns and weird shit that I post, I always talk about communication.
Yes.
And this is where it starts at.
It is.
Communication can heal things like you cannot
anything.
imagine.
That's one thing I always say. Any problem can be solved with communication, with honest communication.
Yeah, honest. Not Don't come in there.
Don't become some
communicating your lies of propaganda and shit. With real conversation, real communication. When we sit down and you really say, let me really communicate my feelings across, so you truly understand something. So anyway, I say that to say that when you hit us up. Don't go try to mind digging and all that. But if you got some questions, whatever, please share them with us. We'd like to share them on the show. We like to shout you out, all that good stuff. So whatever you have, let us know, because that's what feeds us. Yeah. That's what's always fed us too. Is just that constant communication. We love it.
Let's water this so it can grow and become something beautiful and help some people in their relationships.
Exactly.
All right.
See, this is already feeling. See, it's already feeling like a date night already. We need music.
Yes.
Because most of our date nights we have music.
A nice hotel.
Nice hotel.
Yes.
Yeah, no hood shit. No hotel with the door facing the parking lot. Let me tell you that shit right now. Don't get no hotel room, because people will hear what you're doing and come and knock on your door.
Yes.
We'll talk about that at a different time. But yeah, that was some scary shit. So, anyway, nice hotel, music, drink. Food.
Justin makes a cocktail every date night. So we'll have a cocktail tonight. You got some Crown? Some apple Crown is what we have tonight? I
got a vanilla Crown. I'm gonna make a.
So what I'll do is whatever he makes tonight, I will post that drink on the website, so y'all can go and y'all have the recipe to make the drink that he makes tonight for date night.
Because we love it. That's how we do it.
Yes.
But so anyway, to wrap everything up, this is the Date Night with the Crafts.
It is.
And we look forward.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in and watching the show. This is the pilot, so we are,
we're going to have more shows.
We
are. We plan to have 10 this season?
I'm just so excited.
So stay tuned. We're going to talk about everything.
And
we hope that y'all will join us, because it's going to be something to learn. You're going to get something out of it, and y'all will get to learn about what me and Justin have in the goodie bag, too, which is our little toy bag, and we'll show y'all what we really do.
Oh, my God. Not what we really do, but we're going to share
really
some
do.
stuff. We're going to share some stuff and talk about with everybody and our fans and all that. Yeah, right.
But thank y'all again for tuning in. We love you. And don't be a stranger.
Yeah, don't be a stranger. All right? So Date Night with the Crafts.
Yeah.
Man. It's beginning. Here we are.
All right. Y'all be good.
All right.